England loses to Italy in penalties. Rashford, Sancho, Saka missed the last 3 penalties for England. It is not coming home. The drought is not over. Soccer, football is not coming home. It's not England's time yet. And man, it was an entertaining final. England took a 1-0 lead very early. It looked like it was coming home. England fans were going crazy. They even jumped through barricades to get into the stadium. England fans were going crazy. I mean, there is some blame to go to you guys. Like, you guys were going a little crazy. It's become a regular thing for English fans to just go crazy, just break rules, break laws, just complete mayhem. But I get it. You guys were in your first final in a long time. It looked like you guys were going to win your first major tournament in your lifetime for a lot of people, and your lifetime, your grandpa's lifetime. It felt like it was a coronation of a great roster, of a movement that started with the semifinals in the World Cup. So I get the excitement, but man, Italy fought back from that 1-0 deficit, took the game to overtime, took it to penalties, and they showed class. They showed why they were the best team throughout the tournament. They were the best team on Sunday, and they deserved to win, in my opinion. It was a great game. Southgate definitely deserves a lot of criticism. Some of the criticism that he's been carrying throughout the tournament, before the tournament, and some new criticism. The criticism that he's been carrying, that we've been talking about since before the tournament, is that he plays very slow. He plays very conservative. This is not the type of football that you want to see your team play. It's not pretty on the eye. It's not something that, you like if you're trying to introduce football to someone, like a kid or someone that's not into football, you wouldn't put Southgate's England you wouldn't put a video of Southgate's England to get them into soccer. You wouldn't say, hey, come look at this England game and see how entertaining football is. And, are you a football fan now? Like, someone that's a neutral, someone that's barely getting into it will watch that and be like, okay, you know what? This is not my cup of tea. I might go, watch some wrestling, some UFC, or some basketball or some football. Whatever it is, Southgate's football, I think we could all agree, is not the prettiest. It's not the most entertaining. It's not pretty on the eye. But so far, it's been effective. He's gotten to World Cup semifinal. He got them to the Euro final. So if they would have won, everything would have been fine with Southgate. Everybody would forgive him for not playing beautiful soccer, for not playing attacking soccer, for just stalling games out, trying to get to the last 80 minutes with a draw or a 1-0 lead. But when you lose, you're open to all those criticisms come back. Like, yeah, he played 5 on the back. He had Luke Shaw, Maguire, Rice, Phillips, Trippier, Stones, Walker, all those players. 5 at the back, 2 holding midfielders, 2 midfielders, and Declan Rice and Phillips. That they're quality. They're good midfielders. Don't get me wrong. Like, they're great. But both of them can't push the ball forward. They can't take a midfielder. They can't dribble past them. They usually get the ball and they pass back, or they have to have a pretty open lane to go forward. They mostly pass to the side and back. If they get pressed, they have to look for the pass. They don't really have it in them to dribble past other midfielders, to take on 2 or 3 midfielders and just jump lines and put pressure on the back 4. They're more of your holding midfielders that are going to find the deep ball, keep possession, pass it back to the center backs, be very solid, winning the ball back, close down gaps, close down lanes. And you need that. You need that on your team. By no means am I trying to say that Declan Rice and Phillips are not quality players. They are. But when you have 2 of them, when you're playing with 3 center backs and 2 wing backs, it gets very repetitive, and it kind of stagnates your team. It doesn't let your team be a free-flowing attack. It kind of breaks apart your team. You have your front 3 in Kane, Mount, and Sterling, and then you have your back 7, and it's just the team feels very disjointed. And that's what I saw from England. They had a quick start. Credit to Southgate. At halftime, there was a lot of applause going to him. He's getting his flowers. He's like, he put the back 5. The goal came from a wing back to a wing back, right back to left back. Trippier crossing the ball for Luke Shaw. Great goal. So Southgate deserves credit for that. But in the second half, once Italy adjusted, once they started sending people forward, and you could tell that England was getting suffocated, they couldn't get out of their own half. They couldn't get anything going. They were just getting suffocated in their own half. And you kind of just figured it's only a matter of time till Italy scores a goal. And sure enough, they scored a goal. And if you just take a look at the stats, it's kind of surprising that Italy didn't win straight up in the 90 minutes or in the first 120 minutes. 19 shots compared to 6. 6 shots on target compared to 2. 66 possession. Just like over 200 more passes, 600 or almost double the passes, 820 passes to 426. It was just a complete domination of the football by Italy. Way more attacking, way more intent going forward. And England, they were, I think Harry Kane talked about it afterwards, that getting that early goal kind of set them up for failure because they were instead of proposing, instead of going forward, they were kind of hanging on to that 1-goal lead. And it just played even more into Southgate's tactics. Like, yeah, we got the 1-0 lead, like, and we already played defensive. We already have a defensive lineup in place. Like, the easiest thing to do, like even subconsciously, is to just sit back and wait for the other opposition. And Southgate definitely took too long to make changes. Like, I think Sancho should have came in. He came in just to take a penalty. Rashford came in just to take a penalty too. He did it on a corner kick, which is like a no-no for like any coach. Like, don't do subs on a corner kick because you're going to lose your mark. The player is coming in not really concentrated. It's easy to give up a goal. But he really wanted Sancho and Rashford to take a penalty. So and they were running out of time that you didn't know if there was going to be another stoppage for them to come in. So he just made that substitution in the corner kick. It would have been crazy if they scored on that corner kick. He would have gotten criticism. But then they went to penalties and both of them missed. And he put Saka, a 19-year-old, in the decisive number 5 penalty spot when he's never taken a professional penalty, like for Arsenal or for anybody. So all of those criticisms, I think Southgate definitely deserves them. Like, and there was a Grealish said afterwards that he put his name, he raised his hand, he wanted to take a penalty, but Southgate basically said no. Like, these are the ones I've seen in practice. These are the ones that I want to shoot for England. And with the history that Southgate has in like for England missing penalties before, people were saying, is he really the guy that should be picking? That's another criticism. But for England, they're not going to get rid of Southgate. This is the furthest they've gone with any coach in forever. Semi-final in 2018, final this year in the Euros, and you know, there's a lot of optimism for England going into the World Cup. I just think this was their chance. They should have capitalized right here. Almost all their games in this tournament were in England. They were the home team. Donnarumma, when he stopped the final penalty on Saka, he didn't even know that he had won. If you see the video, you kind of see that he's just walking back to the goalkeeper spot because 98% of the people that were at Wimbledon, or that not Wimbledon, that were at I forget the stadium name, that were at the stadium, they were English. They were Wembley. 99% that were at Wembley, they were English fans. There was only like 1,000 Italian fans there. So you couldn't really hear the cheering of Italian fans when they had won the penalty, which just goes to show how that's another advantage that England had. This should have been their tournament. They should have won it right here. And they didn't. They fall short. And I think Southgate deserves a lot of criticism. Very defensive minded. A lot of attacking players in the bench that he didn't utilize. Like, he was scared to go for the win. He had the early 1-goal lead, and he never wanted to go for that second goal to go for the kill. And we'll see how they do in the World Cup. I think England should be like one of the top 5-6 favorites, but it's going to be even more complicated. They got the easier side of the draw again. Like, lately they've been getting like easy draws and easier paths to the final. They had to beat up on Germany, but other than that, if you look at the rosters that they played against, England should have been like, you know, you expected England to get to the final. When they played against Germany, I said the winner of this is making it to the final. And sure enough, England did. But Italy deserves a lot of credit. I don't want to just touch on England. I also want to talk about Italy. Italy missed the World Cup in 2018. It looked like their soccer program was going down in flames. Even their league was kind of going down. And these last few years, the Serie A has been more entertaining. They're getting more talent in the Serie A. And now they come back with Mancini putting on a great show. They came in hot. They hadn't lost a game in forever. And now they are the champions of Euro 2020. This is how you build a program. This is how you build a roster. And just props to Bonucci, props to Cellini, two elder men that have been there forever. They're getting very long in the tube. You know, we don't know how many more years we have of Cellini and Bonucci, but they've been great. Italy is known for having great center backs, from Nesta to Maldini. Like, there's just been so many good center backs, and Bonucci and Cellini carrying the flag right now. Donnarumma, great goalkeeper, man of the tournament, player of the tournament, had another great game. Two penalty stops in the decisive penalties. Just all around, like, people were saying that Italy doesn't have a world-class player to win them games and stuff like that. Well, they have a lot of really quality players. They have a world-class coach, and they love their jersey. They play for their jersey. They play tough. They play smart. They know how to make a smart foul, like Bonucci did or Cellini did on Saka. They play very smart. They play smart soccer. They're entertaining again. They have more attacking players. They don't just sit back. They like to have possession and go forward. So just shout out to Italy. Great tournament. What a great turnaround. It's a great story to hear. From missing a World Cup to winning the Euros is just incredible. So shout out to Italy. Shout out to their whole soccer program. And for England, I mean, I hope that, you know, Southgate changes it up a little bit. Yeah, these defensive games, these defensive setups, they might get you to some finals. They might make you go deep. But I think with the talent that you have right now, you could do a lot of damage. You have Grealish, you have Rashford, you have Sancho, you even have Calvert-Lewin, Saka. There's a lot of young players to pair up with Sterling and Kane, and you could do a lot of damage. So I mean, England should hold their head high. This is by no means a bad result or a bad tournament, and they should be one of the protagonists for the World Cup next year. But I do want to say that, man, that racist stuff, all that internet hate that they're shooting down on Rashford, Sancho, and Saka, that needs to stop. That there's no place in football for that. And you know, this is not the first time that it happens. So I hope everyone that condemns all the people that do that, and I mean, these players already have it tough enough. Rashford put on a great picture, a great text after the game on how he felt. He loves the England shirt. He loves being from England. And it's sad to see people not, like, you know, give them their respect or just say hurtful things to them. So just needed to say that to wrap this segment up. Like, you know, that's not cool, you guys. I know this is not going to change anybody. People like being vile. People like being, like, you know, disgusting, rude. And this is not really going to change anything. But if you're one of those people that, you know, condemns them, calls them out for it, you know, I tip my hat to you. This is what we got to do moving forward.